The great hall of the Galactic Council was filled with light, colors, and voices. Tall alien beings from different worlds sat in their seats. Some had glowing skin. Some had long arms. Some did not even have faces like humans. But all of them had one thing in common. They believed they were superior. At the center of the hall stood a single human, Commander Elias Kane. He stood straight, calm, and silent. His uniform was simple. No glowing armor. No advanced suit. Just dark fabric and a small metal badge on his chest. Around him, whispers spread like a wave. They still use metal tools. Primitive species. They are not ready for the council. A tall alien with silver skin leaned forward. His voice echoed across the hall. Human representative. Explain why your species requested urgent entry into this council. Elias did not rush. He looked around slowly, making eye contact with as many aliens as he could. Most of them avoided his gaze. Some smiled in mockery. Finally, he spoke. Because a war is coming. The room went silent for a second, then laughter exploded. A deep, loud, echoing laughter. One alien with four glowing eyes shook its head. War? You think you understand war? Another added, your planet has barely left its own system. Elias did not react. His face stayed calm. We received a signal, he continued. A distress call from the outer systems. Entire colonies are going dark. No survivors. No messages. Just silence. The silver alien raised a hand, stopping the noise. And you believe this concerns the council? Elias nodded once. Yes. Why? Because whatever's out there, it is not using energy weapons. This time, the silence was longer. A few aliens looked at each other. Then one of them laughed again. That is impossible. All advanced civilizations use energy-based systems. Exactly, Elias said quietly. That single word made the room uneasy. The silver alien leaned back. Show us your evidence. Elias reached into his pocket and placed a small device on the floor. A hologram appeared above it. Stars filled the air. Then slowly, red points began to blink out. One by one. Dozens, then hundreds. These are the lost colonies, Elias said. Every signal ended the same way. The hologram zoomed in. A final message appeared. Broken. Distorted. They don't stop. No shields. Kinetic impact. Repeat. Kinetic. The message cut off. The hall became quiet again. But this time, there was no laughter. A smaller alien spoke carefully. Kinetic weapons? That is, outdated. Yes, Elias replied. Outdated. Forgotten. Ignored. The silver alien crossed his arms. So you're saying this unknown enemy uses primitive weapons? Elias looked directly at him. I am saying they use weapons that do not fail. That sentence stayed in the air. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Another alien stood up. This one was tall and thin, with glowing blue lines across his body. This is fear talking. Your species is young. You do not understand the power of modern technology. Elias did not argue. Instead, he asked a question. When was the last time your weapons worked without delay? The alien frowned. Our systems are highly advanced. That is not my question. No answer came. Elias took a slow step forward. When was the last time your weapon fired instantly? Without charge time. Without cooldown. Without failure. The hall remained silent. Because everyone knew the answer. Never. The silver alien spoke again, this time more serious. What you suggest, a human? Elias took a breath. I am suggesting that you are not ready. That sentence shocked everyone. A low murmur spread across the hall. One alien slammed his hand on the table. You dare. Elias raised his hand slightly. I am not here to insult you. I am here to warn you. The hologram changed again. Now it showed a battlefield. Broken ships. Burn stations. Debris floating in space. No energy burns, Elias explained. No plasma damage. Just holes. Clean. Sharp. Deadly. As if something passed through everything. The blue-lined alien stepped closer to the hologram. This is impossible. Elias shook his head slowly. No, it is simple. He looked around again. You made your weapons stronger, but slower. You made them brighter, but weaker in long fights. You made them advanced, but not reliable. The words hit hard, because deep inside, they were true. Suddenly, an alarm echoed through the hall. A loud, sharp sound. Red lights flashed. Every alien turned in shock. What is happening? Someone shouted. A voice came from above. Emergency transmission received. Outer defense line breached. The entire hall froze. The silver alien stood up quickly. Show it. A massive screen opened in the air. What they saw changed everything. A fleet, dark, silent, moving fast. No glowing engines. No energy signatures. Just cold metal shapes coming closer. And then, impact. One of the Council's defense ships exploded. Not from a beam, not from energy, but from something that hit it at incredible speed. Another ship fell. Then another. No shields reacting, someone yelled. They are not using energy, another shouted. Panic spread. The advanced systems were failing. Exactly as Elias had warned. The silver alien turned slowly toward him. His voice was no longer proud. What do we do? Elias did not smile. He did not look proud. He simply said, we fight, but our weapons will fail. Elias finished. Silence again. Then he reached behind him. From a simple case, he pulled out a weapon, a rifle, metal, solid, old design. To them, it looked like a toy, but Elias held it with confidence. This, he said, does not need energy. He loaded it with a simple click. This does not wait. He aimed at a test drone that floated into the hall. This does not fail. He pulled the trigger. A loud crack echoed. The drone shattered instantly. No charge. No delay. Just impact. The sound alone shocked the entire room. Aliens stepped back. Some covered their ears, because they had never heard a weapon like that before. Elias lowered the rifle slowly. This is what is coming for you. The silver alien stared at the broken drone, then back at Elias. For the first time, there was no pride in his eyes, only fear, and something else. Respect. Outside, the fleet was getting closer. Fast. Too fast. The Council was not ready, but the humans were. Elias turned toward the exit. We received your call for help, he said. But now, he paused and looked back one last time. You are the ones who need ours. No one laughed this time. No one spoke, because deep down, they all understood the war had already begun, and they were already losing. Far away in space, another defense station went dark. No signal, no survivors, only silence and the sound of something moving closer. The Galactic Council Hall was no longer a place of pride. Now, it felt like a command center in chaos. Red lights flashed again and again. Alarms did not stop. Voices overlapped. Fear moved through every corner of the room. On the main screen, the enemy fleet kept coming closer. Slow, silent, unstoppable. Commander Elias Kane walked forward, calm as before. But now, every eye in the hall followed him. Not with mockery, but with hope. The silver-skinned leader spoke quickly, his voice shaking slightly. You said your weapons can stop them. Prove it. Elias did not answer immediately. Instead, he looked at the screen. Another defense ship exploded. Clean, sharp, gone in a second. No shields reacted. Someone whispered again. Elias nodded once. Because shields are made to stop energy, he said. Not mass. The blue-lined alien turned toward him. Mass. Solid projectiles. Elias explained simply, fast, direct, no energy signature. The alien looked confused. But that is old technology. Elias looked at him. Yes, he said. Old and forgotten. Another explosion filled the screen. This time, closer. The council was running out of time. The silver leader stepped forward. Tell us what to do. Elias finally moved toward the center platform. First, he said, stop using your main weapons. The room went silent again. One alien shouted, that is our only defense. Elias shook his head. No, that is your weakness. He pointed at the screen. Every time you fire, your systems heat up. You slow down. You wait. Another ship exploded. They don't wait. That simple truth hit hard. Elias placed his rifle on the table. This is what you need. The same weapon that they had laughed at just minutes ago. Now no one laughed. A smaller alien walked closer, careful. This makes no sense. No energy source. Elias picked up a small metal piece. A bullet, he said. Solid metal. He held it up so everyone could see. No light, no heat, no signal. He placed it into the rifle. Just speed. The silver leader frowned. And this can destroy their ships? Elias looked back at the screen. If used correctly, yes. Silence. Then, show us. Elias nodded. A drone was brought into the hall again. But this time it was stronger. built with the same material as their ships. Your best defense plating, Elias said. The drone activated its shield. A glowing barrier surrounded it. Watch carefully. Elias raised a rifle. No charging sound. No glow. Just a simple movement. He pulled the trigger. Crack. The bullet hit the shield and passed through. The drone exploded behind it. The shield stayed active, but useless. Shock spread across the room. That is impossible, someone whispered. Elias lowered the rifle. Your shields stop energy, he said. But they cannot stop something they do not detect. The blue-lined alien stepped back slowly. They cannot see it coming. Yes. Another alarm interrupted them. Enemy fleet entering inner defense zone. Panic returned. They are here, someone shouted. The main screen changed again. Now. The enemy ships were massive, closer, darker, and still no energy signals. The Council's fleet moved to intercept. Bright beams fired. Huge explosions lit the space. For a moment, it looked like they might win. Then, their weapons stopped. Cooling systems overloaded. Power drained. And in that small moment of silence, the enemy attacked. Fast, precise, deadly. One by one, the Council ships were destroyed. No defense. No time to react. The hall fell into silence again. But this silence was different. This was fear. Real fear. The Silver Leader turned to Elias. His voice was quiet now. We cannot stop them. Elias looked at him. You cannot, he corrected. A pause. Then, we can. That single word changed everything. Elias tapped his communicator. Bring them in. The large doors of the hall opened slowly. Heavy footsteps echoed. All aliens turned to look. Humans entered. Soldiers, wearing simple armor, carrying the same rifles. No glowing tech. No advanced suits. Just metal and confidence. They moved in perfect formation. Disciplined. Silent. Ready. The aliens watched in disbelief. These are your warriors? One asked. Elias nodded. Yes. They look basic. Elias gave a small smile. They work. The soldiers took positions around the hall. Each one ready. Each one focused. Another explosion lit the screen. The enemy fleet was now attacking the central station. Time was almost gone. Elias stepped forward. We don't have time to debate anymore. He looked at the Council. You have two choices. No one spoke. Keep using your advanced weapons and lose. A pause. Or trust us and fight. The room was silent. Every alien looked at the Silver Leader. He closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them. The pride was gone. Only logic remained. We trust you. Elias nodded once. That was enough. He turned to his soldiers. Prepare. They moved instantly. Magazines checked. Weapons loaded. Positions locked. No delay. No confusion. Only action. Elias looked back at the screen. The enemy ships were now surrounding the station. Dark shapes against the stars. Waiting. Watching. Almost like they knew that this was the final moment. Elias took a deep breath, then spoke clearly. Open the defense gates. The aliens gasped. That will expose us, someone shouted. Elias did not look at them. Yes, he said. That is the point. The gates began to open. Slowly. The protection of the station gone. Now, nothing stood between them and the enemy. The dark ships reacted immediately. They moved closer, faster, like predators sensing weakness. Inside the hall, every alien felt it. This was it, the end. But the humans, they did not move. They did not panic. They waited, calm, focused, ready. Elias raised his hand. Hold. The enemy ships entered firing range. Closer, closer, closer. Hold. Some aliens closed their eyes. Some stepped back. Some whispered prayers. Hold. The enemy weapons prepared. No light, no warning, just movement. Elias's eyes locked on the screen. Every second felt longer, every breath heavier. Then, his hand dropped. Fire. The sound exploded through the hall. Not light, not energy, but thunder. Loud, fast, continuous. Human weapons roared to life. Bullets filled the space. Thousands, moving faster than the eye could see. No charge, no delay, no mercy. On the screen, the first enemy ship was hit. Small impacts at first, then cracks, breaks, explosion, silence in the hall. Then another ship fell. Then another. The enemy formation broke. Confusion. For the first time, they were not in control. Inside the hall, aliens watched in shock. What is happening? Elias spoke quietly. They are learning. Another enemy ship tried to escape. Too late. It was destroyed in seconds. They thought we were weak. Elias continued. They thought simple means useless. More explosions filled the screen. The enemy fleet started pulling back, retreating, running. The same unstoppable force was now escaping. Inside the hall, no one moved. No one spoke. They just watched, because they were seeing something impossible. Victory, with weapons they had laughed at. Elias lowered his hand. The firing stopped. Silence returned. Heavy, real. The silver leader stepped forward slowly. His voice was almost a whisper. How? Elias looked at him. Simple, calm, clear. We never stopped using what works. Outside, the last enemy ship disappeared into the darkness. But deep in space, something else was watching, waiting, learning. And this time, it would not underestimate humans again. The battle was over, but the silence that followed did not feel like victory. Inside the Galactic Council hall, no one moved. The screen still showed empty space where the enemy fleet had been. Broken debris floated slowly. Small fires burned on damaged ships. The humans stood still, weapons lowered, calm, controlled, alive. The aliens, however, were different. They were shaken, not just by the battle, but by the truth. Everything they believed in had failed. The silver-skinned leader stepped forward slowly. His voice was quiet, careful. They ran. Elias Kane nodded. Yes, they were winning and they ran. Elias looked at the screen. They were learning, he said. And when they realized they were no longer in control, they chose to survive. A long silence followed. The blue-lined alien spoke again, but this time there was no pride in his voice. What are they? Elias did not answer immediately. He walked closer to the screen. They are not like you, he said. They do not care about power or display or pride. He paused. They care about results. That word felt heavy, because it sounded familiar. Too familiar. The silver leader looked at him. Like humans. Elias did not smile. Yes. The room went cold. Suddenly, another alert echoed to the station. Not loud, not chaotic, but sharp, precise. Everyone turned. What now? Someone asked, fear returning. A new signal appeared on the screen. Unknown. No origin. No clear source. Just a message. The system tried to translate it. At first, it was broken, distorted, like the last message from the lost colonies. Then slowly, the word became clear. Adaptation confirmed. The hall froze. Resistance detected. No one breathed. Threat level increased. The screen flickered. Then, we will return. The message ended. Silence. Deep. Uncomfortable. The blue-lined alien stepped back. They're talking to us. Elias shook his head slowly. No, he said. They are talking about us. Fear spread again. Stronger this time. Because now they understood something worse than defeat. They had been studied, watched, measured, and now targeted. The silver leader turned to Elias quickly. We must prepare. Strengthen defenses. Upgrade weapons. No. The word cut through the room. Sharp. Final. The alien stopped. What do you mean, no? Elias turned to face him. If you try to upgrade your systems now, you will lose faster. That makes no sense. It does, Elias said calmly, because they are adapting to you. A pause. They already know how your weapons work. The room fell silent again. Elias stepped forward. But they don't fully understand us yet. That small difference was everything. The silver leader's voice dropped. Yet, Elias nodded. They saw our weapons. They saw how we fight. He looked at the broken ships on the screen. Next time they will be ready. A chill moved through the hall, because everyone understood what that meant. The next battle would be harder. Much harder. One alien spoke, his voice shaking. Then what do we do? Elias took a deep breath. For the first time, he looked slightly tired, but his voice stayed strong. We change. The blue-lined alien frowned. Change what? Elias looked at all of them. Everything. Confusion spread. We cannot match them in technology, Elias explained. And now, you cannot rely on your old systems either. He pointed at the human soldiers. You must learn to fight like us. The idea shocked them. You expect us to abandon centuries of advancement? One alien asked. Elias shook his head. No. A pause. I expect you to survive. That answer left no room for argument. The silver leader slowly nodded. Teach us. Elias looked at him carefully. This was the moment, the turning point. Training starts now, he said. The hall quickly changed. Tables were cleared. Weapons were brought in. Human rifles, ammunition, simple gear. Aliens gathered around, unsure, uncomfortable. This feels wrong, one of them whispered. Elias heard it. Yes, he said, because it is new. He picked up a rifle. This weapon does not think for you. He handed it to the silver leader. It depends on you. The alien held it carefully. It felt heavy, real, not like their light, energy-based tools. No targeting system? He asked. No. No auto-aim? No. The alien looked confused. Then how do we hit anything? Elias looked him in the eyes. You learn. The word was simple, but powerful. Training began. At first it was bad. Aliens missed targets. They held weapons wrong. They reacted too slowly. They expected the gun to do the work, but it didn't. Frustration grew. This is inefficient, one shouted. Elias walked up to him. Yes, he said. At first. He pointed at a human soldier. Watch. The soldier raised his rifle, aimed, fired. Target destroyed instantly. No delay, no hesitation. Again, Elias said, the soldier fired multiple shots. Each one hit. Perfect. Controlled. This is not about the weapon, Elias explained. It is about the user. Slowly, the aliens began to understand. Hours passed. Then more. Mistakes became fewer. Movements became sharper. Confidence started to grow. But something still felt wrong. The blue-lined alien approached Elias. There is something else, isn't there? Elias looked at him. Yes. What? Elias turned toward the stars outside. They are coming back. The alien felt it. Not fear. Something deeper. Expectation. When, he asked. Elias's answer was quiet. Soon. As if the universe heard him. An alarm sounded again. But this time, it was different. Slower. Heavier. More dangerous. All eyes turned to the main screen. And what they saw was worse than before. The enemy fleet had returned. But now, they were different. Larger. Stronger. And surrounding them, new defenses. Moving shields. Not energy-based. Physical. Rotating armor. Adapting. Learning. Elias's expression hardened. They learned fast. The silver leader whispered, Can we still stop them? Elias did not answer right away. He watched the enemy ships carefully, studying, thinking, calculating. Then finally, yes. A small spark of hope appeared, but Elias added one more line. If we are faster, the enemy fleet moved closer. No hesitation, no fear. They were ready this time. And now, so were the humans. Elias turned to the soldiers, then to the aliens. His voice was strong, clear, final. This is not your old war anymore. He raised his weapon. This is ours. The lights dimmed. Weapons were loaded. Hearts were racing. And in the silence before the storm, everyone understood one thing. This time, there would be no retreat, only survival or extinction. The enemy fleet did not slow down. It did not hesitate. It did not fear. On the main screen, the dark ships moved closer to the Galactic Council station. But this time they were different. Thick layers of rotating metal covered their bodies. Physical shields. Moving armor. They had learned. Inside the hall, no one spoke. Aliens and humans stood side by side now. Not as strangers. Not as rivals. As survivors. Commander Elias Kane watched the screen carefully. His eyes moved from one ship to another, studying every detail. They changed their defense, the silver-skinned leader said quietly. Elias nodded. They are expecting our weapons now. The blue-lined alien stepped forward. Then, our bullets will not work anymore. Elias did not answer immediately. He turned to one of the soldiers. Show them. The soldier walked forward and placed a small object on the table. It looked like a simple metal box. This, Elias said, is not just a weapon. He opened the box. Inside were different types of bullets. Some were sharp, some were flat, some had strange shapes. The aliens looked confused. They all looked the same, one said. Elias picked one up. They are not. He held it up. Different designs, different purposes. He pointed at the screen. They adapted to one type. He placed the bullet back. So we changed the type. Understanding slowly appeared on their faces. You mean, the silver leader said, we adapt faster? Elias gave a small nod. Yes, that was the difference. Not technology, not power. Speed of thinking, speed of change. Outside, the enemy fleet moved into attack position. Inside, the station prepared. But this time it was different. No panic, no chaos. Aliens checked their weapons. Human soldiers moved beside them, guiding them. Hold it like this. Breathe slowly. Don't rush. Simple instructions. Simple actions. But powerful. The blue-lined alien held his rifle tightly. His hands were still slightly shaking. Elias walked up to him. Fear is normal, he said. The alien looked at him. You're not afraid? Elias looked back at the screen. I am. That answer surprised him. But fear is not weakness, Elias continued. It is a signal. A signal for what? Elias raised his weapon. To act. The alarm sounded again. Enemy fleet entering strike range. Everyone moved to their positions. The defense gates opened once more. Dark space stretched before them. Silent. Endless. Deadly. The enemy ship stopped for a moment, as if observing, as if thinking. Then, they attacked. This time it was faster, stronger. Metal projectiles fired from their ships. Heavy. Violent. The station shook as impacts hit the outer structure. They're using the same strategy, someone shouted. Elias nodded. Yes. Another hit. Closer this time. Cracks formed in the station walls. The aliens felt it. This was not like before. This was equal. This was war. Elias raised his hand. Wait! The enemy ships moved closer. Their new armor rotated faster, blocking angles, reducing damage. Wait! The humans stood ready. Aliens copied them, breathing slow, finger on the trigger. Wait! The distance closed. Now, Elias dropped his hand. Fire. The sound returned. Loud, relentless, endless. Bullets filled the space again. But this time, something was different. The first impacts hit the enemy armor. Some bounced off. Some were blocked. The aliens felt fear rising again. It's not working, one shouted. Elias did not react. Keep firing. More bullets hit. Then, a small crack appeared on one ship. Then another. Then, a section of the rotating armor broke. Elias saw it instantly. There! He pointed. Aim for the gaps. The humans adjusted immediately. The aliens followed. Shots became more focused, more precise. The enemy ships tried to adapt again, rotating faster, changing patterns. But now, it was too late, because the humans had already changed again. Different bullets were loaded, heavier, stronger. Some exploded on impact, others pierced deeper. The battlefield turned chaotic, not with light, but with force. Raw, physical, unstoppable. One enemy ship exploded. Then another. Then 5 more. Inside the hall, hope returned. But the enemy was not finished. A massive ship moved forward, larger than the rest, stronger, covered in thick armor. This one is different, the silver leader said. Elias narrowed his eyes. Yes. The ship charged forward, ignoring damage, ignoring everything. It aimed directly at the station. If it reaches us, someone whispered, we're finished. Elias knew this was a final test. He turned to his soldiers, then to the aliens. His voice was calm, but strong. We stop it here. No fear, no doubt, only decision. He picked a new type of bullet. He loaded it slowly. This is the last one. The blue-lined alien looked at him. What does it do? Elias looked at the massive ship. It ends things. The ship was getting closer, faster, too fast. The station shook again. Time was running out. Elias took aim. Everything around him faded. No noise, no fear, just a target. He breathed in, held it, and pulled the trigger. The shot echoed louder than all others. The bullet flew, straight, fast, perfect. It hit the ship. Nothing happened for a second. Then, a crack, a deep, spreading fracture across the armor. Then, light from inside. Then, explosion, massive, blinding, final. The large ship broke apart. Pieces scattered into space. The remaining enemy ships stopped. For a moment, everything was still. Then, they turned and retreated again. But this time, not in control, not learning, not planning. They were running. The battle was over. For real. Inside the hall, no one spoke. Then slowly, one alien lowered his weapon. Then another. Then all of them. The silence was different now. Not fear. Not shock. Something new. Respect. The silver-skinned leader stepped forward. He looked at Elias. Not above him. Not below him. But equal. You saved us. Elias shook his head. We saved each other. A pause. Then the alien said something no one expected. We were wrong. Simple. Honest. Real. Elias gave a small nod. Yes. No anger. No pride. Just truth. The blue-lined alien looked at his weapon. This is not primitive. Elias smiled slightly. No. He looked at all of them. It is reliable. Outside, the stars were calm again. No enemy ships. No fire. Just silence. But this silence felt different. It felt earned. The silver leader turned to the others. From today, we change. No one argued. No one resisted. Because they had seen the truth. Elias walked toward the exit. His soldiers followed. Mission complete. But as he reached the door, he stopped. Just for a second. He looked back. Remember this, he said. Everyone listened. Power is not what looks strong. A pause. It is what works when everything else fails. Then he left. The doors closed behind him. Inside the hall, no one moved. Because they all knew the day they laughed was the day they almost lost everything. And the day that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this content, make sure to subscribe to the channel and support us. It really helps us grow and bring more videos like this. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.